A protest in Nigeria and Bangladesh led by youth group have resulted in governance shifts as young people demand immediate reforms and an end to bad governance. What can other developing countries learn from Nigerian and Bangladesh experience? Well, KAFTAN TV foreign correspondent Evelyn Dan Epelle tells us in this report.
Let's focus on a wave of youth-led protests sweeping across nations, especially in Nigeria and Bangladesh. These protests highlight the quest for better governance and economic justice. In this report, we take a closer look at what's happening on the ground where young people are shaking things up. Youth protests have erupted in Nigeria, driven by widespread dissatisfaction with the Tinubu administration. Thousands are demanding immediate reforms, including the reversal of fuel subsidy removal. Amid high employment, corruption, and economic instability, youth unemployment has soared to 34.5%, according to the International Labour Organization and research at the Center for the Study of the Economies of Africa.
Perceived level of corruption, the cost of governance, the instability in price of goods and food, and this has been what part of the problem. They capture snippets of pictures of things that happened and they put it online. We need to have demands that are time-bound, that are measurable, that we can actually use to put on the table and use indicator to actually see whether we have achieved what we have asked for, either yes or no.
In Bangladesh, widespread protests over economic conditions and political corruption forced 76-year-old Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to resign and flee after student demonstrations. According to multiple media outlets, the Prime Minister escaped from Dhaka on a military transport minutes before thousands of people stormed into her official residence and ransacked it. 84-year-old Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus has taken over as interim leader. I spoke to Bangladeshi journalist Sahid Shashin in Dhaka to provide more insights.
Last 1 month, 5 journalists was killed and more than 400 journalists was injured. So you can imagine what was the situation.
We talked about all of this when we first met at the spring meetings in Washington, that, there would be a wave of protests and hostilities, and it was imminent anyway. Can you tell us what's happening in Bangladesh? And will you say that all of this was so preventable?
And this is stoppable. The student movement started mainly around the quota system in Bangladesh and getting jobs. You will be surprised to know that Bangladesh once had a 56% quota in getting government job. Only 44% are on merit basis. People are afraid about the other issues after the taking interim government. Now this is the scenario in this Bangladesh.
Yeah, but the unrest was definitely intense. More than 300 people have died, and even more casualties were recorded. Young people in your country are rallying against government's handling of the economy, and there's accusation of corruption in the Prime Minister's government, and she fled the country. What would you say is a major factor that is driving these protests?
The movement was started from the student quotas for getting the jobs, and now when the time is passing, the movement was converted to demolish the government.
Can you describe the interim leader, Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus, and how the country is receiving him being technocrats being at the helm of affairs?
Professor Yunus, as you know, Professor Yunus is a Nobel laureate in peace, and not only the Nobel laureate in my country. He is a Bangladeshi good entrepreneur, banker, economist, and politician, and civil society leader in my country. Due to the conflict with the Prime Minister, and Dr. Yunus has become a national hero.
Yunus' appointment as interim leader is strategic, given his global reputation and success as a technocrat with the Grameen Bank. However, his past clashes with Sheikh Hasina may pose challenges. What can Nigeria and other developing countries learn from Bangladesh's experience? Transparent governance is essential for public trust and stability, and financial models like Yunus microcredit innovation could help address unemployment and inequality. As both nations grapple with their challenges, the global community watches closely. The outcome of these uprisings and leadership challenges will likely influence future governance and economic strategies in other developing countries. We'll continue to monitor this situation and provide updates as they unfold. Evelyn Dan Epelle from Abuja.